Welcome back to the Mainstage. Today my guest is Susie De Giusti with TGIF, Towards Gainful Infinite Freedom. And in our episode today, we talk about how to just roll with it. Great tools, great insights. Let's get into it. Get ready to shine on the Mainstage, where brilliance in business meets the art of speaking excellence. I'm Meagan Fettes, your guide on this thrilling experience as we decode the power of influential speaking strategies and personal transformation, illuminating the path towards achieving your full potential as a speaker. So welcome back, Susie.
Thank you.
We just had an incredible conversation about what inspired you to start speaking and what you noticed to be one of the most powerful skills that changed some dynamics for you in your business and speaking. So if you haven't had a chance yet, definitely check out that episode because there is so many incredible tools and nuggets in there for new speakers. This episode, I want to talk about more of the embarrassing things that happen as a speaker.
Okay.
So, because we all have them.
Yeah.
Like every single one of us, whether we're standing on a large stage, whether it is on a video camera, there's something that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to share with our audience, what is one embarrassing moment that comes to mind when you think about embarrassing moments as a speaker?
So my very, very, very first talk was a 10-minute talk. And even though I knew the audience fairly well, I had all of my little cue cards. I was ready to go. I knew what I was talking about, or so I thought. And I get up there and I'm shaking and I have to hold the podium because I'm so nervous. And I totally forgot about my cue cards. I didn't even bother with them. I just went from what I could remembered, what I rehearsed, and I finished like 8 minutes in 8 minutes versus the 10, and I missed I don't know how many points. And I just sat there and I went, okay, I'm done. And everybody's just like looking around, and the person that was keeping time, she goes, maybe you just want to ask if there's any questions. I went, oh, sure, yeah, okay. Any questions, anyone? Right, I'm just like, okay, I'll just roll with this because I was so nervous, but at the same time, I didn't want to just, walk off and not give anyone an opportunity to ask questions and stuff. But yeah, for me, that was embarrassing. Not using what I had in front of me completely took me on to another journey whatsoever. It was really good.
I hear ya. The amount of times that I've done that myself, or having those moments of completely blanking out,
Mm-hmm.
so common. I remember one time I was speaking and things were going great, and I looked at somebody and all of a sudden just everything in my brain left. And it was like, okay, I'm just gonna take an extended pause here.
Yeah.
And breathe.
Right.
And I don't think there's a speaker out there that has had a moment like that. Right? Because it's natural.
It is natural, especially when you're just starting out, right? I went from a very short rendition of my speech to running over time the second time. So it's trial and error, right? And practice is definitely a key.
Yes. And usually what happens, and one of the things that I know you can probably speak to this, is even though we can be very confident individuals, when we get up on stage and there's a whole crowd of people looking at us, all of a sudden some fears come up, some natural insecurities come up, and all of those feelings of fear of judgment or fear of making a mistake, fear of not being perfect will come up and rise up. Did you notice that for yourself as a speaker?
Yes, absolutely. Nobody's going to really get anything out of your talk. You're going to screw up the words. You're going to stutter. There's always these things that we're thinking about. My one tip that I learned is in my short journey so far is that if I get my energy out before going on stage and hit a different vibration altogether, like dancing, listening to music, and just, go crazy.
Yes.
Right? And elevate that vibration, because all of a sudden you're in a good mood and you're just like, okay, yeah, that was a great song, and you're pumped. It changes everything that's going on in your mind when you step on that stage, I find, for me.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I teach within the Influential Speakers Formula, is creating a routine and specifically movement beforehand. Because the thing is, energy is not bad, but when it becomes stuck within our body, there's no way to expel it out, there's no release of it, it becomes pented up. And that's where that nervous energy begins to build up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just throw on some Bruno Mars and dance.
Yes. Totally. Music is amazing that way.
Yes.
And whether people are speaking on stage or on screen, because I find what I notice a lot for speakers is when they speak on stage, there's a little bit of a different mindset because they are out in the open, right? Whereas speaking on screen, they feel like they're a little bit safer. They're kind of hidden, but we still want to take the same approach. We still want to utilize the same tools to be able to support ourselves for both.
Absolutely.
And so definitely having that movement practice, whether that's dancing, whether it's yoga, whether it's going for a walk, maybe it's a full out workout, but having something to expel that energy.
Yes, absolutely.
What would you say is another tool that you utilize to help bring yourself into that state of being prepared to speak on stage so that you don't have any blankness or kind of find yourself trailing off?
Well, I think the obvious one is just practicing and rehearsing the talk, right? And at least a couple of times a day, making sure you're in that time frame that you need to be in, and not stick to your script, your talk verbatimly. You've got your key points, you've got to hit them. And that's all that's important. As long as you memorize those key points, you're golden. Practice in front of the mirror, record it, just practice.
Yes. I love that you touched on the points of recording. I always recommend recording audio because then we can hear the pace of our voice.
Yeah.
It's one of those things for myself, when I first started recording myself, I always thought I spoke really fast. And then I listened to myself and was amazed at how slow and almost like Eckhart Tolle my voice was.
Yep, he puts me to sleep.
Right? But it's funny how we have this perception of what we are doing versus what we're actually being perceived from.
Yes.
And so that audio recording and video recording are absolutely essential to be able to also see the body language.
Yes. And on top of that, getting feedback from the professionals that, know what it is that we're going through and what it is that we're looking for, but being able to give us that feedback that we need to be better, to be stronger, to be more confident is key as well. In order to be that speaker, you need to be able to take feedback and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And roll with it.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I am truly loving our conversations.
I too.
Because we're going into some really cool, deep places in these episodes. So we're going to come back. We got another couple episodes that we're going to be touching on. Our next one is on the skill that speakers need to master, in your opinion.
Okay.
But for now, I would love you to share with our audience how they can find you and how they can get in touch with you.
Well, they can find me on my website, which is tgifreedom.com. And in there, you will find a few ways that you can contact me. So go ahead onto my website, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you.
It's time to wrap up our session of the Mainstage. I'm Meagan Fettes, reminding you to stay committed to your growth and development. Let the insights gained here fuel your drive for success on the stage. Here's to your success, impacting millions and monetizing your message from the stage.